For the longest time, there's been a debate to whether video games cause people to be violent and commit crimes. Now, I don't know about other games, but surely that can't be the case for my favorite game, Mario Kart Wii. It's literally a kid's game. You can't do anything illegal, right? Actually, you can. In fact, if we apply US law to Mario Kart Wii, you can do a lot of illegal activity. Some of it is just minor offenses, while others are literally the worst crimes you can think of. So in this video, I'm going to go over everything illegal you can do in Mario Kart Wii if we apply US law to the game. I'll also show you the jail time you get for these crimes, and the offenses will get progressively more serious until we get to the worst crime you can commit in Mario Kart Wii. Let's get into this. And before we even start a race, we've already committed a crime, being that we don't have a seatbelt on. That'll cost us a $20 ticket. Now when you're on the track, what's one of the most common things you do? Throw a banana. And that's a littering charge, which will get you a fine of at least $25, although it can be much more. So yeah, stop leaving your banana everywhere. Next, if you've ever played a race and then stopped in the middle of the road, you've committed the third crime on the list, a parking violation. That'll punish you with a ticket of around $65, and you'll even get your car towed if you don't move. Also, that car that you're driving is pretty loud, and on Wario's gold mine, that's a residential area. So that's a public disturbance charge, costing you up to $400 and 90 days in jail if you don't pay up. And I don't think our racers have driver's licenses. That's also a fine of at least $250 and potentially 6 months of jail. And no insurance either? That's another few $100 fine. And have you ever gotten into a place on the track that isn't meant to be driven on? Well, that's trespassing, and it'll land you up to 6 months in jail and a $1,000 fine. And have you ever been playing with your friend and then this happens? Bet you $20 I beat you this race. That's illegal gambling and 6 months in jail for you and your friend. And we all know about the thundercloud, but did you know passing it to someone else is considered intentionally giving someone a disease, and it'll land you 6 months in jail? I feel like that sentence should be higher, but maybe the government just understands that sometimes you gotta pass a thundercloud. Also, if you've ever bumped into somebody and then just kept on driving, that's a hit and run, and 6 months in prison. And have you ever went AFK after you completed a race and your character just keeps going in circles around the track for a while? Well then, you my friend are loitering, and the charge for that is 6 months to a year in jail and a $1,000 fine. And get this, you get the same punishment for racing. Yeah, you thought the whole concept of this game is even legal? No. I mean, they drive through a literal mall, and I don't think Mario Kart Wii is an official association like NASCAR. So we have to assume this is street racing, and that's a big no-no in the eyes of the law. And racing naturally comes with other offenses. We have speeding. That'll get you a fine of at least $200. And Funky Kong, you're swerving all over the place. That's a reckless driving charge and up to 90 days in jail and a $1,000 fine. And have you thrown a shell at someone? That's assault. 6 months in jail for you. And oh my god, Yoshi, you're not wearing any clothes. That's a public indecency charge and 6 months in jail. And I hope you've never intentionally created a new account to get in lobbies with lower skilled players online. That's fraud and a year of jail time. The law doesn't like smurfs. And while we're on the topic of fraud, I hope you haven't been distributing any fake item boxes. That's a counterfeit charge and a year and a half behind bars. And you better not have hurt any cows, because that would be a 3-year stint in jail for your animal abuse. And oh my god, did you just use a mushroom while driving? That sounds like driving under the influence to me, and a year of jail for possession and 5 years of probation for the DUI. And using a blooper? Well, you're vandalizing someone's car. That's a year in jail, and you gotta pay for their damages. Also, if you've ever stopped in front of a thwomp and just let Lakitu get squashed, that's involuntary manslaughter. 4 years of jail time. And why did you people even click on this video? Was it because you're thinking about doing these crimes? Well then, you're committing conspiracy, and if proven guilty, your evil thoughts will land you 5 years in the hole. And wait a minute, a baby driving a car? Well, I have bad news for baby Peach's mother. Would that be Peach? Because with that child endangerment charge, she's gonna be facing up to 5 years in prison. And have you ever been playing Balloon Battle and boosted into somebody to steal their balloon? Well, that's robbery and 5 years in jail. And if you use something like a shell to hit somebody in coin runners and then take their coins, that's an armed robbery charge. And I forgot to mention earlier, when you littered that banana, that's also considered setting a trap, which is illegal. 5 years in jail, bro. And remember when we talked about child endangerment? Well, if you're racing with one of the babies, don't hit them, because that'll result in a child abuse charge, giving you up to 6 years in the slammer. Did you just use the shock? Well, you literally burned all the racers and could have started a bigger fire. Arson will give you up to 9 years in prison. And remember when we talked about how hitting somebody with a shell is assault? Well, if you hit someone with a bullet, that's also assault with a deadly weapon. 10 years in jail for you. And why are there so many Funky Kongs in this room? Well, that must mean that some of these racers are committing identity theft and will get 15 years in jail. Hey, next time don't pick Funky Kong. Also, did I mention if you're doing this on a team, that's organized crime and up to 20 years in the state penitentiary for you and your CPU partners. And if you throw a bob bomb into fellow racers, that's literally terrorism and a life sentence in prison. And similar to that, if you throw in a blue shell, that sounds a lot like a targeted assassination attempt on first place. So have fun with the rest of your life in jail, bro. And you heavyweights are the most guilty because if you bump somebody off the map into lava or the void, that's first degree murder and you can enjoy a lifetime behind bars or even worse. So yeah, those are all the crimes. Be honest, you're going to jail. Oh, and I heard this guy's gonna be your cellmate. Thanks for watching, you criminals. I hope you enjoyed this idea. I know it was a bit out of the ordinary, but whatever. Honestly, I think the worst crime is voting for Shy Guy Beach online. Yeah, that one should definitely land you on the chair. Anyways, comment how guilty you are, and I'll see y'all in the next one.